Switzerland, famous for the Alps and pristine nature, is one of the most popular travel destinations in the world. But it is also the top European country in business innovation, the home of such world-leading corporate giants as Roche, Novartis, UBS, and Nestlé. Switzerland has ranked first in the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Report for 6 straight years. Let's talk to Swiss ambassador to Korea, Linus von Castelmur, about the secrets to Switzerland's competitiveness. Today's guest is from a country known as the Jewel of the Alps. Joining us today is Ambassador of Switzerland to Korea, Linus von Castelmur. Thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to say hello to our viewers?
Certainly. Thank you very much for receiving me at your studios. A warm welcome to the viewers of Arirang TV. It's an honor and pleasure for me, and thank you for your interest in Switzerland.
Thank you for joining us today. Now, it's a country known for its innovative technologies, and it's worth noting that Switzerland devotes the highest percentage of its GDP to research and development. So would you like to tell us why Switzerland invests and devotes so much to R&D?
Switzerland is an old democracy. Switzerland is a very developed society. And Switzerland has a knowledge-based economy. Mm-hmm. So in order to compete with other nations, we had to specialize, we had to go for the right niche. And in this niche, we had to be really excellent. Mm-hmm. And that is the reason why we went for innovation. Innovation is extremely important. And it's through research and development that you can really drive innovation and that you can have state-of-the-art products. Yeah. So Switzerland invests more than 3% of its GDP into R&D. Mostly spent by enterprises, only 1/3 by the state. Mm-hmm. And for the enterprises, what is also interesting is it's not only the very big ones, but it's also small and medium-sized enterprises in Switzerland who invest a lot in research and development.
I see. Now, the economy of Switzerland is known to be one of the world's most stable economies. There are many, many companies, world-renowned companies with especially long histories. There's Nestlé, there's Rolex, Novartis, there's Hublot, Breitling, UBS, just to mention a few. There's a long list. So how did such business giants rise in, I guess, such a small country as Switzerland?
True, as they say, it's not about the size, it's about the quality and the environment. And yes. I think the Swiss work environment is very good. The business environment attracts many people, and it's politically a very stable country, economically highly developed, a huge talent pool of really talented people from Switzerland, but also from abroad. It's a very open society, and it's a nice country to live. So all these factors together make that many foreigners come to Switzerland, enjoy a high living standard, enjoy over the weekend. They go do sports in the mountains. They ski, they swim, whatever they want to do. It's a very quaint, it's a very small country, and also infrastructure is excellent. And during the weekend, well, they have first-class research institutes and facilities. As the companies invest a lot, and also the state invests a lot, I think all the facilities are really first class. And that is something that helps us really to attract the brightest of the bright people all over the world. And what is interesting is really Switzerland, the openness of Switzerland was a key factor for developing that. The Swiss alone, we couldn't have made it. I think we needed all the brilliant Asians, Americans, other Europeans who came to Switzerland.
Yes. Now, Switzerland is known to be one of the most beautiful countries in the world. But of course, besides its beauty, there's more to it. It's more than just the Alps and the majestic natural surroundings. And as for travelers traveling to Switzerland, not only Korean travelers, but travelers going to Switzerland from all across the globe, which places would you recommend that they visit in Switzerland?
Switzerland is such a tiny place, but there is so much to visit. I had recently a Korean vice president of a big company, and he told told me, I spent 14 days in Switzerland this summer. And I said, what, in Europe? And I said, no, 14 days only in Switzerland. I said, okay. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. And he went, he had the full gamut of what Switzerland can offer, obviously. He went, if you love nature, and if you love mountains, you would go to Jungfrau, very popular with Korean travelers in the Bernese Oberland. Zermatt with the Matterhorn is also very popular. You could also go to Bernina region in eastern part of Switzerland, Davos, St. Moritz, very fashionable places, and fantastic sport venues. If you are more interested in culture, well, you would go into the cities, Basel, Zurich, Geneva. They boast so many interesting exhibitions, many things. And although they are small cities, they are really extremely dynamic, and they have many interesting venues, good concert. Switzerland is small. We are only 8.4 million inhabitants, but we have a lot of culture and a lot of variety of things to offer in a way.
What would you say if you could pick maybe one or two dishes?
From Switzerland?
Yes, from Switzerland. I know it's a difficult question, but if you could just choose one or two, okay, I'll give you two or three.
I like very much Swiss cuisine, but Swiss cuisine is a kind of rural cuisine. It's not the most refined cuisine. I think cheese is definitely a must. You must try Gruyère or Vacherin or the cheeses. That is certainly something that is important. Then we have also a variety of beef dishes. One of the famous would be Zürcher Geschnetzeltes, Zürich Schnetzlets, which is something I'm sure Korean would certainly like. We do not, I think what is interesting comparing Korean food to Swiss food is definitely less spicy. We do not use as many spices as you do, but we do salt more our dishes. So that's very interesting. I was discussing with a Korean gentleman, and he told me fondue, Swiss cheese, it's too salty for him.
Oh, is that right?
It can happen, yes.
I don't think I've ever tried.
Did you try fondue?
Salty fondue in Korea.
Okay.
Not in Switzerland.
You have to come to House of Switzerland to Pyeongchang. We will show you that.
Yes. Now, obviously, it's Christmas, and Christmas is celebrated across most of the countries across the world. And I'm curious to know about how it's celebrated in Switzerland. Can you tell us about any Christmas or New Year traditions?
Well, as everywhere in the world where Christmas is celebrated, it's a family celebration.
Yes.
It's really bringing together the grandparents, the parents, kids, and also cousins, and they have a Christmas dinner, normally on the 24th in Switzerland. They might sing some Christmas carols under the Christmas tree, then they open the gifts. It's also about recognizing people, thanking parents, grandparents, and acknowledging performances of the kids. So it's very much driven by families and by kids, so the whole. And obviously in Europe, as in Switzerland, as in Korea, it's cold outside, so it's good to be inside the house, having perhaps an open fire, and then to be there having a good dinner. That is what most people do in Switzerland. Some go to church for the midnight mass or something like that, but it's mainly really be with the family, extended family, and celebrate with the family.
Yes, it's kind of different in Korea. Christmas is kind of celebrated among, I guess, couples.
Is it? It's more intimate. It's more the smaller family.
It's kind of like a very romantic holiday, I guess. But I think more and more Koreans are kind of getting together as family and celebrating Christmas together as family. So I think that's very nice to see. But
in Switzerland, Christmas is not romantic. It's
really?
Not 2 and 2. It's 12, 14, 15 people all together, a big gathering, and then together. I think New Year's is then more on with your friends, and it's more each generation separately.
Yes.
But there are many traditions in Switzerland with that, and it's very regional. Switzerland is really very local. You have in the eastern part of Switzerland completely different tradition than in other parts. So that is certainly something that you have to take into account in Switzerland. It's very diverse.
Oh, I see. Could you maybe share with us a childhood memory related to Christmas? How do you remember spending Christmas as a little boy? What was Christmas like?
I remember very well in the early 60s, one of the Christmas holidays I spent in our family house in Graubünden, in the eastern part of Switzerland. My family owns a very old house of the end of the 17th century. And so we were all there, my parents, cousins, and grandparents, and everybody, aunts and uncles. And we celebrated. And we had lots of snow. And we wanted then to drive to the church. And we couldn't. There was so much snow. I think we had to mount the chains on the wheels. And in the end, we abandoned, and we finished the evening in our family house all together, singing Christmas carols, and it was beautiful. I was 6 or 7 years old, and it's a very vivid memory, because also at this time, there was so much snow. Now it's much less, and you feel it.
Yes, that's true. Even in Korea, we're definitely getting less snow. When I was little, we used to get lots of snow, and Christmas used to be a white Christmas. We would be surrounded, with snow and make snowmen and have snowball fights. It's it's sad that we're not able to enjoy that these days. But I do have childhood memories related to Christmas as well. It sounds like you spent very cozy and warm and beautiful Christmas.
Absolutely.
Christmases.
In-house it was warm and cozy and friendly, and outside was very cold. And, I still feel, the snow when you march on the snow, and it's kind of you have this icy sound. It was really amazing.
Switzerland is a neutral alpine nation situated in the middle of Europe, comprised of 26 states or cantons, with a child born every 6 minutes. Mia and Noah were the most popular baby names in 2015, and just for the record, Heidi did not make the list. Switzerland is a direct democracy, meaning that the population get to vote directly on issues that affect them, and has 4 official national languages: German, French, Italian and Romansh. Switzerland has had its fair share of the rich and famous who've lived here over the years. Perhaps it was the less taxing lifestyle. Freddie Mercury from Queen lived and recorded in Montreux. Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin, better known as Charlie, lived in Vevey. Audrey Hepburn resided in Toloshino. Phil Collins has a place in Bernyan. And Grammy Award winner Tina Turner, who's now a Swiss citizen, lives on the lake near Zurich. And then there's the homegrown hero, 19 times Grand Slam tennis champion Roger Federer, with a legendary forehand strong enough to put the holes in Swiss cheese. They don't call him the Federer Express for nothing. A memorable time, made right here in Switzerland.
I understand that Switzerland held the Winter Olympic Games twice.
That is true in St. Moritz.
It's known to have a very, I guess you're very strong in winter sports, especially.
We used to be. We hope we still are, so that we will reap many medals in Pyeongchang, obviously.
Well, obviously, yes, Pyeongchang, the Winter Olympics, it's just around the corner.
That's true.
So do you have any advice for Korea in order to hold a very successful Winter Olympics?
Well, Korea doesn't need the advice of the Swiss ambassador. Korea is well prepared. Korea has organized and invested a lot. I'm sure that will be a big success. It's all about Olympic truth. It's all about sporty competitions in a peaceful environment. I think this will be certainly done. I know that Korea has invested a lot in flawless infrastructure. They are organizing the things in a very nice way. What is important, though, is also the warmth of the hospitality. I think that is something that people feel very welcomed, and that in the end, really, there is a good spirit of competition between nations, between individuals, and people enjoying being here, discovering also the beautiful mountains of Yeonpyeong, of Pyeongchang, and Gangneung. I think that will be very important also, and it's certainly a factor of success also. And we hope there will be lots of snow.
Yes.
It's very cold already in Korea. I hope that is also the case in February.
Yes, I'm looking forward to a lot of snow, actually. Okay. Lots of snow. Now, since you did mention Yeonpyeong Resort, I heard that the House of Switzerland will be set up inside Yeonpyeong Resort during the Olympic Games. So what can we expect to see and experience at the House of Switzerland?
The House of Switzerland is a modern version of the traditional alpine chalet, a wooden structure where we warm inside, cold outside, a lot of snow, we hope, and where you can eat traditional Swiss food, for instance, raclette, fondue, some sausages, or some apple pies, this kind of very simple but very good food, and obviously enjoying good Swiss wines or other drinks. What is peculiar is that it's the only house that is open to the general audience. So it's not only for VIPs, for people. We think we have to invite Korean population. We have invited friends of Switzerland to come and celebrate with us. As I said, we hope that we will be able to get many medals and that we will celebrate with the medalists then their success. But it's about celebrating sports, about being with other people. And I would certainly invite all Koreans there to come and join us at the Swiss House. We are expecting 3,000 people a day. So that's a really huge sector. Yes.
So I'd imagine the House of Switzerland is quite big in size, large in size. So
it's two houses, in fact, yes.
Oh, I see.
And we are very well located. It is in Yeonpyeong, behind the resort. We are together with the Americans, with the Swedes, and there is also a house of Procter & Gamble. So I think, but ours is the only one that is really open to general audience. And I think that's the beauty. We want to celebrate with all people coming to Pyeongchang, and let them enjoy good Swiss food and drinks.
Yes, it sounds like a great opportunity. Will you be open from a certain time to a certain time?
We open 2 days before the official opening, from the 7th of February until the 25th of February. It's a long time. And it's open from 11 in the morning to 11 in the evening. So if I may run this PR for the Swiss House in Yeonpyeong.
Now, earlier, as I mentioned, the Alps comes to mind when speaking of Switzerland. You say Switzerland, the Alps. But there's much more. More things that are immediately associated with Switzerland, like chocolate and watches and the children's story Heidi and William Tell. So I'd like to ask you, what thoughts come to your mind when you hear Korea?
Well, many very positive thoughts. We arrived, my wife and myself, in September last year, and we're traveling extensively and with great pleasure. We are discovering so many sites. Obviously, living in Seoul, it's a huge city, very techno-driven, very modern, very vibrant.
Yes.
24/24 all open, and which is something that is amazing that you wouldn't find in Switzerland. Obviously, our cities are much smaller. but we discovered also a lot of ancient monuments, Buddhist monasteries. We recently spent a weekend in Heinsa, a monastery in the south. It was fantastic, beautiful. We went up at 4 o'clock in the morning to assist to the prayers and to the gong and to the bells. It was really very beautiful and very topical. And the landscape was also gorgeous, especially in this beautiful fall season with the beautiful foliage. Otherwise, well, we like very much contemporary art. So Seoul is an El Dorado for art aficionados because you have so many beautiful galleries, interesting galleries, good exhibitions. So that is something we appreciate, similar to Switzerland. So, and the other thing I must really say that is that impresses me is so excellent interpreters of European classical music, and excellent orchestras. So close to your studio, Seoul Art Center, we spend almost every second or every third night over there because they have fantastic concert and many other places also. So that is certainly something that is there. For our grandson who is living with us, K-pop is more the topic, obviously. We like very much Korean food also. We find it very interesting, especially seafood. I discovered the best oysters I ever ate were oysters in Korea from Tongyeong. Excellent and very good, especially in this winter season, very good. But obviously beef is very good, galbi and all the other things. And the vegetables, kimchi, whatever. So we like it very much. It's a very healthy cuisine. You can eat a lot and you do not put on a lot of weight. So that is very positive.
What has happened to me? What have I been eating? Because I've been gaining a bit of weight. But of course, I love Korean food too. I love the spiciness. Yes, there's so much good food here.
True.
Do you have any aspirations you hope to fulfill during your term as Swiss ambassador?
Certainly have many aspirations, and I have a mission statement, obviously, and I have a personal ambition and passion. I mean, I think I would like to continue the very good and problem-free bilateral relations, I would say mainly. But I would like to increase these exchanges, people-to-people contact, build really a network between our two countries, because I think we are very good matches. It's very helpful. We can deliver very much to each other, and we can learn a lot from Korea in many ways. I'm told that, for instance, your emergency system in huge cities like Seoul or Busan is working very well. It appears to be that ambulances are getting to the victim faster than in small Swiss cities. Ambulances are faster in delivering people to hospitals. This is certainly something that is of interest for us. Switzerland is also a very fast aging society. Korea has similar problems. How can we develop sustainable health system? How can we develop sustainable pension system, retirement schemes? I think that is also something where we could exchange notes and where we could learn from each other. In the science and technology cooperation, I think there is also a lot of room for cooperation. And in many ways, we do not compete. Switzerland is not building cars. Switzerland, a landlocked country, is not building ships. We cannot do that. You are doing that in an excellent way, and you have a big part of the market. But when it comes for some special equipment, again, for instance, for these big gas container ships, LPG ships, the compressor equipment comes from Switzerland, is produced locally, but the technology is a world-class technology developed in Switzerland, built in Busan. But this is an example of a very good cooperation between Korean shipbuilders and then Swiss tool makers, who then really work together in a very convincing and mutually beneficial way.
All right, I guess that brings us to an end to our program. Would you like to deliver a message to our viewers that are watching? Any particular message?
Well, obviously, speaking to you at the very end of this year, I would love to present to all Korean viewers my best wishes for Merry Christmas and certainly Happy New Year 2018, and to many medals for Korea, many medals for Switzerland during the Pyeongchang Olympics, and to our increased cooperation.
Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'd like to thank you once
very
again
much.
for joining us and for giving us the opportunity to discover much more about Switzerland. It's definitely a dream destination for travelers. And as you mentioned, if our viewers don't get the chance to travel all the way to Switzerland, at least,
House of Switzerland.
yes, check out the House of Switzerland and experience Switzerland. Please do make the time to actually visit the House of Switzerland. Thank you once again for joining us today. And Merry
Enjoyed
Christmas.
it very much. Same to you. And a Happy New Year.
Happy
Thank
New
you
Year.
very much.